some kind of parts.
All right, everybody, welcome to the September safety meeting. Hope everyone is doing well.
Great.
All right, so today we're going over hazmat, incident prevention and response, fire and safety, vehicle inspections, distracted driving, and situational awareness. All right, preventing hazmat incidents. A lot of incidents can be prevented if we make sure that our placards are correct, we secure our vehicle using seals, container integrity, and during our leak prevention checklist when we're inspecting valves, hoses, tanks, and fittings. Okay, so verified load documentation. How often are you guys cross-referencing your bill of lading with your placard?
Never.
Always.
Always. Okay, good. Okay, how many of you guys have ever looked through your orange book and looked at the chemicals that we haul? Never? That's not a requirement. All right, so when you guys get time, just flip through, find our UN number, read about it, you know? Could be information. Okay, placard standards, so your placards must be on all four sides of the vehicle, no obstructions. E.g. ladders, equipment, shouldn't block visibilities, you should be able to see it from all angles of the truck. Drivers must inspect the placards, so make sure we're not missing any numbers, make sure that it's not rusty enough to fall off. If you guys have any issues with that, I know we've been ordering new placards, so if you see something, say so. Okay, slosh test, seals, and container integrity. How many of you guys have had to use a seal before?
And do what?
Use a seal.
Really?
We don't use a lot of seals because we go to steel mills and stuff like that, but Ron's used them before over there. And as we do more and more ferric loads, some of our customers, they require seals and integrity. So guys, make sure that our seal at the top also matches the seal at the bottom, also matches the seal number on the paperwork. Those are big things. So when we're doing our visual inspection, make sure that we're checking for corrosion, residue, wet spots around the valve stems and seals, ensuring the valve handles are intact and not damaged. You're going to want to confirm all valves are closed tightly. Use temperature evident seals or locking mechanisms when required by the DOT or shipper. So if the customer's asking for a seal, use a seal. Okay, so record the seal numbers. DOT compliance. Valves must be leak-free and secure during transportation. Really fun fact. All right, so flange securement. How many of you guys have had to change out a flange recently?
And the what?
Check that flange. Like at the mills, you know, everyone has flange to go back and stuff.
Not too often. Are you guys inspecting it before you hook it up?
I look at it, ooh, that looks great.
Okay. So as long as it's in good condition, we don't want to be over tightening. We want to make sure we're not using impact drills. We want to be hand tightening everything using the star technique or the cross pattern. Like when you're putting your tire on, you want to make sure that's on there even and has good pressure. Okay. Leak test. So when we're conducting a leak test, are you guys getting out and checking your dome lid after the fact?
All the time. Absolutely.
Every time, good. Okay, so watch for seepage, vapor release. If you get on top and you see that, oh, some vapor looks like it came out, that's your point to say something. Okay, so flanges must meet ASME B16.5 standards and be maintained to prevent hazmat releases under the 49 CFR. Some fun language for you guys. Okay, valves. Make sure all of our valves are closed. Check for residue or wet spots indicating leaks. Hoses. Inspect for cracks, wear, or chemical damage. Make sure somebody hasn't ran over it and it's flat. Okay, tank fitting. Look for corrosion, loose bolts, missing caps, verify pressure. Also, if you guys are at a new customer or something got changed recently at a site, look to make sure the materials of construction are there. Our products don't work too well with metal, so just remember that. Driver responsibility when we go to these sites, guys, make sure that we're verifying the spill kits when we get there. Make sure we're testing the eye wash. And if you see a leak, immediately report it to dispatch or your emergency response guide in your driver handbook. Okay, fun fact, even a small leak on a valve can trigger a full DOT incident report and an environmental response. So if your truck is leaking and you're going down the highway, and it could have been going for 40 miles. So that's stuff that we'll be liable for if it happens. Okay, brake system checks. Inspect for worn pads, air leaks, time adjuster settings, confirm air pressure, look for underinflation, sidewall damage, tread depth, avoid mismatched tire sizes or dual wheels running together. How many of you guys have had to change out a tire recently?
Have to change one out?
Or get one changed on your truck? Pretty frequently. So we've been seeing a lot of issues, especially over at Intech with their rail system. I know there's not much we can do about it, but just be vigilant, guys, and make sure that we're going slow. And when you're doing your post-trip or pre-trip inspection, really look hard for that stuff, because that's stuff that could put the next guy in jeopardy if it's not caught. Okay, check your battery terminals for corrosion, secure connections, inspect wiring harness for frays, exposed wires or melted insulation, fluid leaks. So monitor your coolant levels, oil leaks, transmission fluids, watch for steam, burning smells, high engine temps on the dash. So when we're doing our pre-trip, make sure you guys are actually opening up the hood and doing it right. I know you guys are, so good job. Fire extinguishers. How many of you guys look at your fire extinguisher?
I'm gonna climb in the truck.
So, you guys want to make sure that the fire extinguisher is not expired. So, if it is expired, come to us and we'll swap it out with a better one. Make sure it's ABC rated. All of your guys' should be. Compliance reminder: the fire extinguisher must be readily accessible, fully charged, and rated at least 10 BC for the 49 CFR. So, most truck fires start in the engine compartment. So that means our routine inspections are our first line of defense. Okay, so we went over a little bit of this, but daily inspection essentials. We're checking our brakes, air pressure, tires. We're checking our tread depth, inflation, and sidewall condition. We're making sure that our placards are correct and verified, and we're ensuring that our shipping papers and emergency response guidebook are both in the cab. So that's your bill of lading and that's your orange book. Those are the only two things you have to have physical copies of. Everything else is in the drive. Okay, so a little bit on distracted driving. Guys, what's our policy?
No texting or that.
No texting while driving. Okay, good. So the DOT prohibits texting while driving, holding a phone while driving a commercial motor vehicle. So make sure we're using Bluetooth. Make sure we're using voice activated systems, whatever you guys use. But if you have to, for whatever reason, pull your phone out, make sure you pull over safely. That could be checking your GPS, making a phone call, whatever you guys gotta do, just pull over safely and do it. So make sure we're scheduling breaks to avoid fatigue. So follow the hours of service rules, use rest stops or terminals to recharge mentally when needed, stay hydrated, eat light to avoid post-meal drowsiness. I know some of you guys are getting tired right now. Okay, so preset your route before your departure. So plug in your GPS if you need help getting to where you're going. Use voice commands, co-pilot, keep snacks within reach, but avoid messy distractions. And as far as our rule on food and snacks, make sure you got a hand on the wheel at all times. DOT compliance, texting while driving can result in a fine of up to $2,750 and disqualification from operating a commercial vehicle. So, guys, it's not worth it. You know, that text is not that important. Okay, so some situational awareness stuff. This goes back to some of our Smith System training. Make sure that we're looking 15 seconds ahead. Make sure we're checking our mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds. Make sure we're being alert in construction zones, urban areas. Make sure we're following the speed limits and looking for construction workers or pedestrians. So, fun fact, the average CDL driver makes over 1,000 decisions per hour behind the wheel. So, guys, we watched a lot of of those compilation videos before this, how many of those could have been prevented if somebody was looking far enough ahead? Probably all of them. Okay guys, so here's some of our tire pictures. So these are things that we have to catch during our pre-trip inspection.
Those are steer tires.
Those are steer tires. And we found those. So make sure that we are doing our inspections properly, guys, because this could have easily ended up in a serious accident. All right, paperwork. So we're starting a new paperwork program, and right now we have, it's kind of a mess, it's kind of all over the place, but all you guys that have extra copies of bills, we're gonna go away with that, because I appreciate you guys for being prepared to have the right bills, but we're going with a new system where we're gonna make sure the customer gets billed on the right paperwork. So we're not gonna be crossing out bills anymore once we get the packets. So every mill that we go to will have a packet for RA bills and a packet for pickle bills. So let's say you're on your way to US Steel, right? Boo Boo calls you up, hey, I need you to go to Inland. Well, your bill's already preloaded for US Steel, right? So we go to Inland. At Inland, there will be a bill packet of paperwork. Probably only 5 in there, so there's no reason to take extras, no reason to hoard any paperwork. You'll grab the bill, copy your information, and then staple it. I got you guys all staplers. They should be here by the end of the week. But every mill will have paperwork, so there's no need to have excess paperwork. We'll have Beth bills out in the back, but at every site there should be ample amount of paperwork.
Are these blank bills?
No, they have legitimate numbers. They have legitimate bill lading numbers on them, but they're only for diversions. So,
The thing of it is, I mean, the limb system goes waiting.
but here's our problem. When we go to a steel mill and say we load it on our US bill and we just cross it out and write Inland, sometimes it doesn't always get crossed out. And how do you feel Inland likes getting a US bill lading sitting on that thing? And that causes not only a problem in their billing cycle, but a problem in our billing cycle. And we think this is a proactive attempt to get rid of paperwork errors. And I know it's not on you guys, but I want to make sure you guys are ready to handle what we're going to try and do here. So we'll go through another thing before we roll out, but we're going to have these packets at every single one of our mills, so there's no need to put extra Inland.
So what happens if we get the bill that they're out?
That should never happen
If
because
it does, we just don't deliver that or what? You can't cross, if you have a US Steel bill right in,
So,
already
if,
there.
and I'm getting that, if you are the last person to take the last bill out, you need to notify Boo Boo or Hunter that, hey, I took the last bill. And we should be able to have more bills that night or the next day.
If not, don't deliver.
No, if not, you're obviously gonna deliver and you're gonna cross it out, but you're gonna make sure that it's done right. But hopefully that never happens because the last guy is gonna tell when he turns his in. All right, everyone on board?
We're supposed to take the bill that we get from, say, Magnetic, rip it off, staple it to the bill that we are changed to.
So pretty much when you have your bill that you preloaded on, that you were supposed to go to US, but you ended up going to Inland,
Yeah.
you get to Inland, you pull one paper out, you copy all of the information, and then you leave the copies you're supposed to leave there, and you take that copy and you put it on top of the US Steel bill that you were going to initially deliver, because it's still in the limb system as going to US Steel. So we need you to staple it, so when it gets back here, we can say, hey, this didn't go to US Steel, this went to Inland.
And then,
Somebody screws it up, you're gonna get written out for this?
No. I'm gonna be,
That's gonna be, somebody's gonna screw it up.
we're not gonna be writing anybody up off the bat, but we are gonna be
There's just
doing,
way too many moving parts in this.
it's not hard. The paperwork is gonna be at the mill, all you gotta do is grab a piece of paper. So what, let's say, you wanna do an extra round, now you don't even have to cross out a random bill that you find at Burns Harbor, you can just go there and grab a bill out of the packet.
Where the ground bills?
I just went.
That you're gonna go to.
No, you're obviously gonna cross it out if we're out of bills, But the last guy who goes and takes the last bill, it's expected that they tell Boo Boo, and we'll know because we're gonna label them like 1 through 10. So,
So if they forgot to tell Boo,
well, when Boo Boo sees the 10th bill come in, we're gonna have it highlighted, then we'll know that we're out.
So are you leaving extra bills in also at Amrox? And what's it called, cause if they want you to load something extra while you're there, you're gonna need an extra bill.
So,
If they want you to load on top, it's just,
we're only going to be leaving extra bills at the mills.
We should keep some like portage inside that, like,
cause that's gonna be a.
We'll look into that. Alright?
Why don't you get everybody what do you call it, a Sharpie or whatever, and tell them here, write the crap that's
Well,
supposed to be that way and change it.
We'll talk more about it later, guys. Alright, Brad. Alright, so make sure we're wearing our PPE, make sure we're wearing our splash shields, our face shields. I'm getting some new ones in, also getting some more hard hats in. So we're gonna hopefully make life a little more comfortable for you guys. Make sure we clean our equipment, make sure we're going to the trailer, wash. Make sure we're reporting defects to maintenance. Make sure, especially when we see those tire issues, we're getting them changed. Report safety issues to management. Put your US gallons on the paperwork as always, and scale tickets from Newport SDI. One more thing, for everyone who goes to SDI regularly, we are going to be doing a watch party for their new safety video that everyone has to have signed off before you can go to SDI again, once they come up from their outage. So it's like a 45-minute video and a quiz, but we're gonna be rolling that out here shortly to make sure everyone who
what
goes
was
there.
that?
Huh?
Somebody had a spill down
What's that?
there? Did somebody have a spill down there?
No, it's just they're upping their safety requirements, and they want all of our drivers to be signed off that they, know to wear their hard hat or whatever. But we'll go through it together and we'll sign off on it and we'll get it done for everybody. Alright, make sure we're not texting and driving. If you guys aren't sure, get out and look. Make sure we're wearing our seatbelts. Alright, here's our video of the month.
Only fans.
Get out of the way.
We got raised and
He says, I'm getting fired. There it is. Good.
So, moral of the story, guys, make sure we're looking ahead far enough to make sure that we're not running into the back. But thank you guys for your time and another great safe month. Hope everybody does well.